Okay, not going through that way then. Thank you very much for saving my life, Crates.
Gotta press on.
If I hadn't stopped the loot, I'd have been gone.
The spire calls for you.
Aloy, go!
You stay down.
We'll draw them
here for you.
Now you face their true son, shadow demons.
Okay. Happy to leave it here. Okay.
You're not gonna be the one to start.
I will answer your challenge. My strength is not yet spent. I earned it by ice and snow. Ah!
Rest now.
Okay. That was a particularly interesting war cry there. I'll be honest. Yeah, this new lance has crazy good knockback power. Come forth, my trusty steed. Oh, okay. Never mind. My trusty steed. Straight into a cutscene.
It's begun. Hades is transmitting.
What happened to Aaron's group? What happened to the war party? Also, legitimately, if the world was covered in these machines, and then once they were shut down, the terraforming efforts began, why wasn't the first thing to do to gather up all of the machines, then break them down? Oh, it's refueling.
Hades has started the signal. It must have gotten through the defenses. Venora. Aaron's vanguard. I have to get up there.
We're on our way. Oh. Okay. Another way. Or rather, this way. I ran past Luke. Yes, I know. I'm bad.
Gotta keep going. Keep pushing. Knew this wouldn't be easy. So no holding back.
Okay, we've gotten almost all the way. However, this time I gotta go down here. Oh, there we are.
Aloy!
They're alive.
It's Aloy! Well, you can see that.
We thought you'd fallen at the ridge.
No, the ridge fell on me. Look, there isn't a lot of time left. I have to face Hades.
Not alone.
It's my fight. I can't ask you to come with me.
We were about to go over the top anyway, right? Right.
Hawk and Thrush, let's go.
Okay,
I should stock up. Last chance.
so I should. Full health potions, please. Let's go. Oh, that is really not very long. That does not last for long. I was hoping it would last for a while, actually. But, oh well. What are we looking at?
entity has been anticipated. Entity will not halt transmission. To contrary, calculations are precise. Presence of entity has been accounted for.
Okay. Been a while since I fought one of these boyos. Okay. I need some very specific weapons. Weaknesses all. So realistically, I kind of want to just knock parts off. Let's make sure that I've got the right bows for this. Yes, I do. Probably don't want that one. Probably don't want a rope caster for this one.
Is that a Deathbringer?
It is. Oh crap. No thanks. Oops. Is that going to knock anything off? I don't think it actually is, no. Alright then. Sticky bombs there is. Okay, never mind.
Execute.
That metal monstrosity is going for it.
Okay, here it comes.
All the shots all the time. Need more. All of it. Ooh. Don't want to take that shot, unfortunately. Oof. How much more difficult would this fight be if I didn't have all of the Spec Marine armor? I no longer have any units for that. No. Actually barely done any bloody damage to this thing. When is it going to need to vent heat? It is just not. Okay. A bit of a problem for me. That is not what I wanted. Ouch. More ammo.
Can't let Hades slow us down anymore.
Watch it. They keep coming. Knock them back.
All of you, focus on the new machines!
I have no idea what I'm gonna have to do for that, unfortunately. And it is vexing. Barely damaged it.
Prioritize entity.
You're hunted by another!
Got it!
Nope. recall how best to tackle one of those things. Ooh, good call, Belial. Nope, thanks. Oop, oop. Damn it. Oh, dear.
I'm getting knocked around here.
Working on it.
We're
Damn
running
it.
out of time. Thanks for the support.
Braves fight together.
There we go. Oof. That's one down. Damn it. Need to take these weapons off. Pop. Damn it. I'm there. It's like, you got no ammo.
I can do this.
Get back in out.
Look out, it's
we go.
brought in reinforcements.
Don't let them overrun us. That's it. My
That
way's
would indeed
clear.
be the point.
It's
Oh.
down.
Okay.
System threat imminent.
I'm more than a threat.
Okay. So Hades is down.
Master Override armed. To activate, state name and rank.
Elizabeth Sobek. Alpha Prime.
Master Override activated. Purging extinction protocol.
And this is just going to shut down the machines that were activated? God, really? God's like, what the heck? Data integrity restored. Gaia log 3.
Okay, Gaia. Sorry about that. Where was I?
You were telling a story.
Right. Yeah, so, like I was saying, it was a children's electronics kit, but I hacked the wiring to an auto battery and solar PV. So the grass caught fire. And, so did a tall pine that had stood there, I don't know, maybe 100 years.
Query. You were how old?
6. My mother was home, thank God, so she called the fire department, and after, she took me out to the lawn and showed me the dead baby birds, because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query. What did you feel?
I'm not sure. I remember yelling that I didn't care, and that's when my mother took my face in her hands and spoke.
Query. What did she say?
She said I had to care. She said, Elizabeth,
Well, that's
being
her body.
smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
You often tell stories of your mother, but you are childless.
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
If you had had a child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious. And willful, unstoppable, even. But with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit.
A locket of some kind?
Anyway, that's all I've got for now, Gaia. Time to tuck in.
I wish you a pleasant sleep, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Demeter
I'll catch you tomorrow.
planted flowers around her. Probably at the time under the guidance of Gaia. And there we go. Now, of course, like any modern game, or modern movie for that matter at this point, we'll hang around, see if there's any end credit scene. But that's it. I hope that was fun for everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this story as much as I did. I hope you all managed to look past my constant ramblings and theory crafting. Oh, Twitch chat just said, just for your information, there is a scene after the credits. Also, you may want to watch the Forbidden West relay. I may do. There is an after credit scene, Aavak. Thank you very much, chat. So, my thoughts. Well, if it wasn't clear from my entire playthrough so far, I found the writing in this fantastic. I mean, there were some obvious things and foibles and frustrations, and the vast majority of them, if not all of them, could be put down to gamifying by necessity. You know, like oh, what is this weird light, and why is hacking something expressed as, you know, tendrils and evilness? Just gamifying it, just making it easier to express through the medium of a visual medium. If it was a book, you could describe that it was hacking, and you wouldn't need to see it. But in this, you kind of need to see it. By and large, the writing was amazing. The characters all felt multidimensional. They didn't just have motivation. They had places they came from, places they were hoping to go to. Sometimes these weren't always in agreement. Sometimes, the character would have what they're aspiring towards, but not be there yet, and so you saw progression. In fact, that's one of the things that I would say throughout most of the characters grew. Most of the main characters grew. Even some of the bit characters had enough going on, enough story time that they grew across their time in the story. It was fun to theorycraft this. It felt like a game that was almost made for my particular skill set, really, for me to enjoy the narrative. A game that fit my particular education very well in terms of accessibility and what I could chew on in terms of the story. There's some obvious tropes there, and I don't think you ever get away from that at this point. There's been too many stories, and they're too easily accessible across everyone throughout the world that you're not going to hit the cliches. And one of the things I'll say a lot, it's cliche for a reason. It's because it's useful, it's good. Cliche story techniques are cliche because they work so well. I am impossibly excited for the sequel. I haven't seen anything about it. I avoided it. I really avoided it, like the plague, in order to preserve, just in case there was some sort of spoiler for this. I am so thankful. I haven't said this enough, but I am so incredibly thankful for all of the people who've been watching this for not spoiling it. It is so easy to do. It's so easy to do by accident, much less if there's a moment where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna say this for the lulz. I understand. It's so easy to spoil something like this if you're excited about it, or you just want to help. Watching me struggle over something, or certainly if my theory crafting has been going in the wrong direction, it must be incredibly frustrating if you know. So I really cannot stress enough. Thank you so much for avoiding the spoilers while I've been playing through this, because this was a story, this was a journey that needed to be experienced, and knowing where it was going would have spoiled that experience. It wouldn't have spoiled it. It would have taken part of it away. And that would have spoiled the experience. I wouldn't have been able to have the complete version of this without the journey. Knowing what was at the end would have taken away some of the travel. So seriously, thank you so much for all of the help. And the mods in stream chat, for the people in the comments who, when there has been comments on YouTube, have sent me DMs on Discord saying, hey, by the way, there was this comment on YouTube. Don't read it. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll bear that in mind. I'll watch out for that name. I will skip over it the moment I see it as I'm passing through my comments of the day. Really, really appreciate it. I can only hope you had as much fun watching me on this journey, being there. I know, obviously, you didn't get to be in the driver's seat, but hopefully being in the passenger seat was as much fun as watching me go through it. Now, in terms of the driving seat, combat was really fun. It suffered in the same way the console games always do, a lack of buttons, basically. But it also had those strengths in the way of consoles, because you make more of the buttons you have, because they have to do so many jobs. There were certain things that did struggle, in my opinion, that sometimes, and quite often, you saw me pick something up when I didn't mean to, or it would take a little bit too long to drop it down. There was some clunkiness in the controls. But by and large, the actual combat was really satisfying. I had a lot of fun with the exploration as well, just moving around. Visually, the exploring was amazing. The climbing around, the leaping from one point to the next, hooking onto things, that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It did sometimes get let down, and this is definitely something I think is primarily a concern in console game design, is because you don't have that wealth of control options. You don't have all of the input options. You don't have the speed and the precision of a mouse. So the game has to do some of the legwork. You have to build it so that the game can try and predict what you're trying to do and help you do it. And sometimes that worked against me. Like, really worked against me. As I mentioned in this particular stream, sometimes Aloy would just go, hop, skip, and a jump over something, and you'd get used to that. And then another time, because it was like a scripted part, they'd do a swan dive that was completely unnecessary, and it would feel weird and clunky, like the physics were working wrong. It's like all of a sudden you're not jumping through the air, you're actually swimming through the air, and the air is actually not thin and fluid. It's more like a treacle. And then another time, do you think, okay, so, because I've seen you leap massive distances to connect with a point in a jumping puzzle, we'll jump a fair distance. No, we're not. We're not going to jump. Oh, I'm missing the zip line. Well, poop. But those little foibles aside, generally speaking, because the game had, the best way I can put it, because the game had built up so much credit in terms of goodwill, because it is such a good game, those moments, instead of being frustrating, were mostly comical. And that was because the game has built up such credit, such favor, such goodwill by being such an amazing game. Those moments when things went wrong, it was funny. It might not have been if I was constantly struggling with the game, or I just wasn't enjoying it as much. Then I would have felt more critical of it. Because sincerely, although on an intellectual level, I'm like, oh, well, that control wasn't particularly as smooth, or that sequence didn't make as much sense. The kind of logic, the logic leaps you're having to do to make the plot lines connect here, those are quite far. I'm still cognizant of them. But they don't matter to me in the same way that they would have if I wasn't enjoying the game as much. And basically, I'm biased in favor of the game. But it's not because I wanted to like the game. It's because the game earned me wanting that. It earned that bias. Special thanks to our amazing cosplayers and fan artists. We love you. Oh, that's actually incredibly sweet. That was a lovely message to pop there at the end. Gorilla Babies. Simon de Conning. I thought for a moment it said Simon de Kong, and I was like, Gorilla Babies, and one of them's got a surname of Kong. Are you having a joke? Or is that like literal perfect coincidence? Alas, it wasn't, but it would have been a perfect coincidence. You all got to admit on that one. Oh, that's a shame. Some people died in the span of time it took to make the game. Thank you for playing, and thank you for watching. I wonder how long this game did take to be developed. How long it was in development. The Frozen Wilds credits. We're going to let them play. Honestly, with such an amazing game, they earned their credit time. It was in development for 7 years. Yes, over 7 years. I'm sure that with a big enough team, that's going to happen. Then some people won't make it to the other side. And speaking of it, imagine if Aloy was able to request a copy of Apollo from the space colony. Well, I mean, Apollo was copied. That was the other big thing, is Apollo was there somewhere. I am really hopeful that we find out more about what happened with Odyssey in the second one. On the topic of controllers and not enough buttons, Valve recently filed a patent for a controller with swappable button ranks, so you can customize what's on your controller and where. Oh, that's actually really, really interesting. Agree 100%, Aavak. The tiny things I can look over because the game was so great. Yeah, and it's a transaction. The game earned that credit and then spent it on the little things. Let's be honest, if it earns enough credit, it can spend it on a big thing. You can overlook it because the rest of the game was so good. And that's how that works. And that's normal. And it's completely okay. Nothing is perfect. What you want is where the good outweighs the bad. And if it does, then it's alright. Because it's the net result. They hope for the end of 2021 for the release. Ooh. Well, mark it in your calendars, folks. We will be playing through the Forbidden West in 2021, towards the end. Assuming there's no delays. There's always delays. Assuming there's not terribly long delays. There are sometimes terribly long delays. We will play Forbidden West when it comes out. Whenever that may be. It'll be on the PS5, though. I wonder if it'll be an exclusive to the PS5, because, frankly, Horizon Zero Dawn sold PS4s. That's what exclusives are. That's what they're there for. They're there to sell the console. And Horizon Zero Dawn definitely sold PS4s. "64-bit robot. That was me with Mass Effect 3 and its ending. I enjoyed the rest of it enough to overlook it. It's a bit rough if I'll be honest. There's a bit of a difference between Horizon Zero Dawn building up so much credit with its amazing story that I'm willing to overlook a little bit of jank with its controls, and Mass Effect 3 building up so much credit with its story that the end of the story can be overlooked." That's a bit more of a there's a conversation to be had there. But yes, I've heard a lot of people say similar, that the ending of Mass Effect 3 did not take away from the journey that was Mass Effect 3. It's a bit sad that that's what they say, though. I'm going to be honest. Evil Mustard Seed, hello, mate. Hiya. Someone asked in chat, I missed the name, terribly sorry. Is this the start credits or the end credits? This is the end credits we have just finished. And it's taken me a little bit over a year to finish the whole game. We've been playing for a bit, probably coming up to about 110 hours now in total. It goes well, Evil Mustard Seed. Hope your day's going well as well. Horizon Zero Dawn was the reason I bought the PS4. And the Frozen West is the reason I have a pre-order for PS5. Forbidden West, I think. To be honest, there aren't a lot of game endings that I like, since they are, well, the end. Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's a weird feeling that I have right now. I have enjoyed this journey so much, but I am sad that it's ending. But what I will say is that although there are so many questions, now usually this isn't the case for me. Usually I don't, if I'm left with a huge amount of questions, that frustrates me a little bit at the end. I like the story to be wrapped up a bit. I like there to be hooks for potential sequels, but I don't like to be left, honestly, like, what the heck? But what about this? I do like it when games go to some length to try and wrap things up. But despite their numerous amounts of questions, so it's almost uncountable questions I have for this, I'm left feeling like that was a complete story. That it ended where it needed to end. It didn't outstay its welcome, and it answered enough. It has left a lot of questions. And so that's why I say it's uncommon for me to feel this way with this many questions left outstanding. But no, it did an amazing job of what it did. It did a really amazing job. I love your RimWorld content, Aavak. You have a dark sense of humor that I dig. Oh, I'm glad you like it, mate. It's an acquired taste, but you know. What's the biggest question left unanswered? Jack Kinetic? Where the signal came from? What happened to the other AI? We only interacted with Hephaestus and Hades directly. Cyan, not part of the Gaia program. What happened to them? What happened to Thebes? Or Thebes. I think Thebes, isn't it? I'm awful with pronunciation when it comes to Egyptian names. Elysium. Where was that? There's a lot of things. Where did the signal come from? That's the big one. Where did the signal come from? Silence. So many questions about silence. Aavak, don't forget, Freeman and Alex Vance still have to go to Alaska and get whatever is inside the Aperture Science Research Vessel of Borealis. See, that's fine. I'm not going to think about that. One of my many questions, Pharaoh Plague movie, when? I would love to see the start of all this summed up in a movie ending with Elizabeth walking into the sunset. That wouldn't be a bad movie, honestly, yeah. Thank you, Marissa. I do struggle with some pronunciation, and it's because I'm phonetic. Well, I think phonetically. If it's written Thebes, I'll try and say it Thebes. Because it's how it's spelt. Leo Jess, I so want to say something right now. I get to that cutscene. Don't worry, we'll get there in time. Like I said, we've been here for 110 hours. I think we can wait a couple extra minutes to wrap up the cutscene properly. I think the biggest question is, what are skill points? Well, that's a fair one. Through the months, I always watch the YouTube pods. This is actually the first stream I caught live. Oh wow, Jack Kinetic, and you caught the ending stream. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, actually. I guess it could be taken either way. Aavak, it's 6:13 a.m. for me. Why you do this? Because I can. Be thankful I didn't cliffhanger this right at the end. No complaining from you guys. I let you see the ending. I let you have it all in one stream. No complaints. I'm already being merciful. Luckily, I have tomorrow off, which is lined up nicely that you stream. Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea. I can cliffhanger the after credit scene. Wow, that would be cruel. No. No, also, you're expecting it. I'm fairly certain that half of chat is bracing for me to do that. No. What we're going to do, you see, is I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until you forget this conversation ever happened. I'm going to wait until you've forgotten that I said I'm going to punish you for something you didn't do. Forget that part. Or don't. Doesn't matter. Actually, you probably should forget it, because that'll help the general forgetting the conversation. Whole thing. Yeah. Just forget it. It'll happen in time. You'll let your guard down. Well, we'll go months, maybe years, without any cliffhangers. And then just at the final point. That's going to be grand. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be painful. It's going to... My magnum opus of cliffhangers. That's what it's going to be. Months, years, with no cliffhangers? Yeah, right. You wouldn't be able to handle that. Oh, Shh, it'll be fine. You won't see it coming, Bilal. Thankfully, I was really tired and napped to the dulcet tones of Aavak's wonderful voice until just before the final battle. Nice 5-hour nap. 5-hour nap. Fairly sure that's a sleep. By the way, the signal origin is explained in-game. But if you're in combat during the trigger, you might not catch it. Oh, interesting. Yeah, chat is generally the consensus about this one, Unspeakable. 5 hours can officially be classed as sleep. It's no longer a nap. Demon words. My tolerance for cliffhangers has gotten so low that in many cases it's a deal breaker for me. Oh my lord, you're on the wrong channel. I delight in cliffhangers. I started watching this stream 11 hours ago, went to sleep, ate breakfast, and had driving lessons to catch the last flight. Oklo, thank you so much for that cheer there. That was really kind of you. Diolch yn fawr, mate. 25 emote shared. My goodness. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if more people worked on Frozen Wilds than actually did on Horizon Zero Dawn. This credit is long. Well done, everyone. Oh wait, is this the equivalent of like scientific papers? It's like everyone who even looked at the lab while we were doing this has to put their name on the paper. This is how you get science creds. Got to have names on papers that are published. Everyone. Did someone bring us coffee at this point? Yes. Put their name on the paper. If I go to sleep, will the credits still be there here when I wake up? Possibly, actually. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised. Credits for both games and DLC. Okay. I get you. Don't forget the pets on the list, too. That is true. Yep, you gotta put the pets on the list. Yeah, after a point in science, you just become et al. Yes. Oh, there we are. Massive, big Sony bit. Once we get to the Sony bit, you know you're almost at the end. In Leslie Nielsen movies, it wasn't uncommon to find things like entire restaurant movies in the credits. What? Okay, entire restaurant menus in the credits. Okay, that makes a lot more sense, Leon. Leo. Sorry. Slay. Feels like they put one name per line just to pad the length of the credits for some reason. Well, sometimes they do. Bringing the Dark Brew is an important support role. I mean, it depends, really. And I am going to sit here through the entire credits. If you're waiting to just see how long it'll take me to get impatient and skip it, you're going to be here until the end of the credits. That's how long it's going to take. Thank you very much, Mighty Stick, for the dapper drink there. Well played. I'm wondering if I should make a pot of tea for this morning. That is always an answer, yes. Evil Mustard. Why is that getting filtered by your moderator? Why is what getting filtered? Oh. You mean coffee. It would be funny if some random game Aavak is going to play, the credits are looped until skipped. I am watching for that reason. After it's been pretty long, you just start making mental notes of, okay, this particular role has passed, this particular title has passed. Names are a bit harder to filter by because a lot of names will start with the same first name or the same second name. It's the combinations that are important. But you'll typically only have one instance of a certain title or department show up. Did the list of the people crossing the traffic light in front of the studio start yet? Not yet, Striker. We're going to get there soon. Just do a stream where you just let the credits roll for 24 hours and see how long it takes people to figure out the credits are looping. I mean, do I remember the after credit scene from Summoner? No, I'm afraid I don't. Remind me. Since when is Japan not in Asia? Jack and that's a fairly good question. I forget what I was watching, but the very last end credit was, wow, you're still here reading this? Or did you fall asleep? Wake up, movie's done. Go home now. I know that's at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like a literal scene. Natalie Prophet. Usually I just watch for the special thanks, but this just spited me. Yeah. Apparently there's like an end scene and everything, so we're waiting for it. Deadpool did it, but Deadpool was literally parodying Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean that was legitimately what that scene was. It was a parody of the scene at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It was perfect. It was the most Deadpool ending to a Deadpool movie you could have gotten. There is no way. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is like, for anyone even remotely into movies, is necessary watching. It's like certain things you just have to watch. It's like anyone who is even remotely into AI has watched War Games. It came out before most of the techniques or even the paradigms around designing AI were even considered. That are like prevalent right now were even considered. But everyone has watched it. Mostly because their professors tell them they have to. Or, well, they strongly suggest. Ooh, nice tie-in with Matthew Broderick. Yeah, see? Shh. It's relevant on multiple levels. They did include the cooks. Seems it. I should be paying attention to the music, actually. External contractors, yeah. Third parties. In the credits of 2001, A Space Travesty, there is a credit. Tea and cookies for audience members who stayed till end of credits. Am I deleting all of my VODs like Splatty? Well, Dogman, I am considering it. I have not received an email, though. I am one of those, apparently few, who haven't had a DMCA on Twitch at all. But I don't listen to external music while I stream. But as Cringer pointed out, you know, sometimes you get DMCA'd for things that you were actually sponsored to do. It's not just music. It's all sorts of other things. And there are plenty of games where the music would get DMCA'd legitimately. Most of the Tropico series, at least up to 4. Civ, at least up to 5. Or at least like Civ 3, 4, and 5. And 6. Though I think they may have sorted that one. Fallout, GTA. There's so many. So many. Because I don't stream games with other music in the background, there's less of a worry. But then you look at something like Death Stranding. There's no way that you wouldn't get DMCA'd for having the music in Death Stranding playing. But Death Stranding is literally an experience built around that music, like really sculpted around it. Fallout 4 is more enjoyable with the music in there because it sets more of an atmosphere. But Death Stranding is literally built for the music that plays. So, that's a weird one. So it's one of those things where I may well have to just start auto-deleting or just not preserving any VODs on Twitch, which is going to be a real shame. It's really going to sadden me because with that goes a lot of other functionality like clips and stuff like that. And I was really hoping to maybe do some stuff with clips and like get the community to vote on the clips that they like the most. Okay, half the world worked on this game to some extent. Yeah, you know what? Yes. I'm starting to feel like it feels a bit like the credits from Gremlins 2. Not gonna lie. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, hey, you're missing out because honestly, Gremlins is some of the best Christmas movies ever. If I have to sit through National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, then everyone else in my family has to sit through Gremlins. That's the deal. But Gremlins 2, easily, well, the credit scene in Gremlins 2 is basically a second movie. Speaking of Death Stranding, do I plan to return to that game? Yeah, no, I really would like to. It's definitely something I'd like to do. Once we see recommended authors, can we skip? Yeah, okay. If we get that far. Oh, we must be really close to the end now. We're seeing Speed Tree. Oh, look, peeps, we made it. We made it. Now we've just got company logos. We must be at the end. They've run out of names. Here we go. End credits. Here we go. If it loops, I'm going to lose faith in everything. Nope, there we go. What? It's not how a signal moves, but okay. Silence.
Hello, old friend. Remember me? We've still so much to discuss. So much you never revealed. Your masters, for example. The ones who sent the signal that woke you. Knowledge has its rewards, don't you think? Well, let's begin.
Well. Your master's the one who sent the signal. Now, that could have just been, in general, a comment about, you know, whoever is your boss is your master, whatever. Or it could literally be in relation to your creators, your masters. Lady Sheila. So we got our cliffhanger ending after all. How did... I mean, as I was saying before, some of it is gamified. Some of it is done a certain way to express through a visual medium. But what on earth was that thing streaking through the sky? And it hit that, whatever it was, that lantern thing with force. Some sort of quantum frame holding the AI. Well. Okay. Congratulations on defeating Hades and protecting Gaia's dream of an Earth reborn. The state of the world has been restored to just before the looming shadow prior to the final battle of Meridian. You keep all loot and experience from your successful playthrough. Additionally, New Game Plus has been unlocked, granting the option to play the game again from the beginning with all of the loot and skills you have accumulated through this playthrough, which is basically all of it. A New Game Plus loadout of your current inventory and skills has been created. To play in this mode, simply choose the New Game Plus option in the main menu. You can also create new loadouts via the unpause menu in the game. Thank you for playing. Well, we're going to quit for now. All right. New adept weapons and outfits with extra modification slots. Oh, okay. New difficulty level is... chosen difficulty level is locked during New Game Plus. Cosmetic rewards, face paints, and new focus elements for completion on hard difficulty levels. Complete on ultra hard to unlock them all. Oh, there we are. You know what, chat? Honestly, seeing this menu after all of that, like I said, I was kind of sad that the game was over. But seeing this after the game is actually over, it's genuinely saddening. It is so beautiful, and it more or less neatly wraps up everything. The game has been a joy, a rare joy to play. Thank you so much for joining me for this journey. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. That's going to be it for the stream for tonight, and indeed for Horizon Zero Dawn, at least until the sequel comes out. We will be playing it, rather obviously. Now at this point, those of you who are in Twitch chat, and indeed those of you who will be catching this at the end of the VODs going up on YouTube, those of you who are patrons, you're going to have a choice. I will be launching a poll in the next day or so on which of the RPG games that we were playing alongside Horizon Zero Dawn are we going to complete next. Choice is Tyranny or Dragon Quest Builders 2. We shall be going with a straight up vote. Whichever one gets the most votes wins. So I hope those of you who are patrons will keep your eyes peeled, because I want to get through all three of them, but whichever one we start next, that's the one I'm going to focus on until its completion. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to Forbidden West, Mr. Stu. But with that, thank you very much, everyone, and thank you so much for all of the cheers towards the end of the stream. That was really kind of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you all so very much. If you've got any more stream watching in you, and you're wondering who you're going to watch next, hang tight. We're going to be setting up a raid. But if that's it for you, or indeed if you're watching over in YouTube land, thank you so much for joining me for this stream/VOD and for the entire series. Thank you so much for coming along for the journey. It was enriched for your participation in whatever capacity you were able to participate. Thank you so much for coming along with me. It was more fun for it. But with that, and as always, take care.